Welcome to KXI 12 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Jeff Eliasoff.
And I'm Caroline Fletcher. We're learning more about the arrest of a Sherman couple charged with child exploitation last week.
KXI 12's Taylor Brooks has tonight's update.
At the north side on Travis Apartments, a quiet Thursday turned into sirens as investigators searched a Sherman couple's apartment.
Our Internet Crimes Against Children unit receives multiple tips from NCMEC on almost a weekly basis.
It started with a tip from Google. More than 300 files showing children ages 1 to 13 being sexually assaulted, according to an affidavit.
This was one of those tips where our investigators started looking into, started finding validity to it, and wrote a search warrant.
Investigators say 30-year-old Stephen Bruno and his 26-year-old wife, Lori Bruno, were inside when they arrived. According to investigators, the couple's apartment at the north side on Travis apartment complex was searched, and electronic devices belonging to both Stephen and Lori Bruno contained child exploitation material. During the search, Stephen Bruno admitted to downloading child pornography, and he was arrested. After seizing Lori Bruno's devices, investigators found more than 30 animated images depicting children engaged in sexual acts. She was arrested Friday and booked into the Grayson County jail. Neighbors tell me many children live at the complex, and they're relieved the suspects were arrested. The Grayson County Sheriff's Office urges parents to stay alert.
Know what your kids are doing. Check their phones, check their tablets, check their gaming systems.
Both of the Brunos remain in custody, and we will keep you updated as we learn more. In Sherman, Taylor Brooks, KXII 12.